I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ. And man, what inspired this video was a couple of conversations that I just had literally probably a few hours ago with a few of my friends. One of the conversations was just, where I thought I was being a good friend or at least being my version of a good friend. Because one of the things that I'm learning is, what what we all call it. We all see what a good friend is in different ways or different values. We hold more value in certain things. So when I say good friend, I may look at it a certain way. And when someone else says a good friend, they may look at other values and certain values more than I do. And it's more important to be this type of friend to some people. And, it's just all subjective. Everybody has their view and their idea of what a good friend is. And so, me trying to be what I felt was a good friend led to a, tough conversation. And after that tough conversation, I just kind of sat with it, by myself, just thinking, contemplating about, what I should do next or, why this happened, just really just going over everything in my head. And it just made me realize that, man, I probably need to have more conversations like this or similar type conversations just to really, express how I'm feeling, express, especially in this mental space that I'm in right now. And, I had a few more conversations, and what I've realized is that I'm just in a space right now where I have to, or where I need to choose me. And some people, and for some friendships, that means I need to take a step back, because when they hear me say I'm choosing me right now in this time, they hear what I can't do for them or what I'm not going to do or what I'm not going to provide, instead of hearing, hey, I'm going through some things and right now I just need to focus on me. But I also can't put I can't blame them, because the way that I've operated or way I've chosen to operate up to this point, I wasn't always choosing me. I wasn't always there for me. You know what I'm saying? And I was constantly being there for them, because again, in my head, being a good friend, I want to make sure I'm there for, I want to make sure I'm showing up. I want to make sure I'm supporting in the ways that I can. And, it was conditioning them to feel like, okay, well, I don't have to be there for him, or I don't have to prioritize him. And again, I'm not mad and I'm not upset, because I have to be accountable too, from the standpoint of I wasn't showing up for myself the way I need to. I wasn't being there for myself and supporting myself the way I needed to, because I was also scared of the work that needed to go into being better and to doing better, because I know better. So now, because I know better, I know that I have to do better and I have to become better. And it's just easier for me to not think about the work that I have to do and pour myself into my friends and pour myself into their problems, because it was just the easier thing to do, as opposed to really looking in the mirror and really doing the work. And so now that, and I let that go on for so long, to where it's kind of like now it's second nature for me to not show up for myself, and it's second nature for them to not think that they need to show up for me. And so, because I'm in a space now where I'm finally starting to choose me, I'm finally starting to choose, hey, I'm gonna show up for myself. I'm going to do this hard work. I'm going to take this time and really start doing better to improve my mental and emotional health. I'm going to start really applying myself when it comes to um, my personal life, and really trying to develop a more sense of self and being there for myself, and trying to build discipline in different areas in my life, outside of just my discipline of going to the gym and eating better. I want to build that discipline in all aspects of my life, especially when it comes to like financially and spiritually, just trying to build myself, and start to build these good habits that I've been talking about for like the past month, trying to really build these healthy habits and doing the things right. So, and part of that is just really locking in and really starting to take inventory of me and where I stand and how I view things and how I handle things. And, just again, so much stuff is going on. And I'm in a position now where I'm having to be a way more of a father figure for my nephew. So now I'm really trying to lock in because I don't want him to take my negative aspects and start to apply them to his life and start to I don't want to see the negative things, the negative side of me in him. I don't want to see him developing those things. So it's really forced me, having to take care of him more. It's really forced me to really try to lock in on trying to be a better person so that I'm not just for myself, but also for him, to give him a better of example, to give him the example that I didn't have to be that father figure, that positive light in his life that I didn't have and that I wanted, and didn't realize that I wanted and didn't realize that I needed. But now I understand the power of having those positive male role models in your life. So I have even more of a reason to start figuring my stuff out and how to handle my emotions, because I can't sit here and tell him, hey, you need to be able to regulate your emotions. And me as a 36-year-old man, I can't handle mine. So how can I tell a 12-year-old to handle his? How can I help this 12-year-old handle his when I can't do mine? So it's a lot of stuff going on where I really have to start locking in and doing the work and figuring things out, because it's not just me anymore that I'm doing this for. I'm also doing this for him, but I have to do it for me first. So, just having these conversations with people and just realizing, like, I have to start choosing myself. I have to start, putting the work in and do the things that I need to do. I have to quit running from who I used to be, and realizing that in order for me to become who I want, I have to face those decisions. Listen to, um, I have to listen to who I was, and listen to the aftermath of the things that I did because of the person who I was, the person I'm no longer trying to be. But I have to also listen to those people who tell me, well, you hurt me when you did this, and I couldn't trust you anymore after this. And, just all the things that I didn't want to listen to, I didn't want to hear, I didn't want to deal with, and I just ran and ran because it was just the easiest thing to do. And, it was even easier to pour myself into my friends and into my family and into their issues, because that meant that it was less time that I would have to be silent and deal with, what I had going on. But now that I'm in a space where I'm trying to deal with what I have going on, I'm starting to realize that I'm not necessarily losing friends, because it's still love. It's still, I want to support them, but I have to start putting myself first. And so again, in some of those friendships, because the way we have them structured right now, and again, not all their fault, part of it is on me too, because I allowed it to happen. It's not structured in a way where it functions right. You know what I'm saying? It's very one sided. It's always DJ's there for me. DJ's doing what I need him to do. But now that DJ's in a space where DJ needs to take care of himself and he needs to figure some things out on his own, I don't know how to be a friend in that space. And again, I'm not mad at them because they haven't had to deal with that, because I've also not dealt with with me handling things and being in this space of really trying to grow and really trying to work on me, really do this inner work and really choosing myself, because part of it makes you feel bad, because it does make me feel bad choosing myself, or, realizing that there are things that I need to do by myself, not around people. And it does make me feel bad. I have felt bad, like, having some conversations, like I said, that I had to have earlier today. And, just over the past couple of days, it's weighed on me, but I realize that it's something that I have to do. And, it's something that I'm pretty sure I've talked about on here, that healing is not always comfortable. Healing is not always fun. Healing is not always this thing that's going to make you smile. Sometimes healing is painful. Sometimes healing hurts. Sometimes healing is uncomfortable, and you have to have these real necessary conversations, because what I don't want is for me to get to a different space of understanding and a different space of thinking. And now I have all of these old friendships that operate in a one-way street, when now I know that I need two-way streets. I need friendships that are two-way streets. I need friendships where they reaching out to me out of the blue. Hey, how you doing? I don't need anything. I'm just checking on you. You know what I'm saying? And I need friendships that can operate that way, that can operate in going in both directions. It isn't just when I need, then I go to DJ, but when I'm in a good space, I don't need them, so I don't talk to them. And again, not putting that all on them. That's also on me, because I wasn't there for myself. So I never was expecting people to be there for me. And I never allowed people to be, or I very rarely allowed people to be there for me, because I didn't lean on them. I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't letting them know, things are going on. And even if I did let them know, hey, this is going on, I never let them know how serious it was, like how much it was messing me up, or how much it affected me mentally and emotionally, because I always saw that as me being weak and me being soft and not being able to handle things myself. And that was one of the negative things that I did learn from my mom, because it was just like, when you're going through what you're going through, you deal with it. You go through it. You tell everybody it's okay. You tell everybody it's fine, even though you're dying slowly on the inside. So that's what I saw growing up. So that's how I handle things. So again, I can't put it all on them, because part of it is I wasn't talking to them. I wasn't expressing. I wasn't letting them know, hey, everything's not okay. I'm going through some things. I'm hurting on the inside. I'm slowly dying on the inside. I don't know how to express these things. And that's why I'm so thankful for therapy, because it allowed me this space where I can, let go of this armor. I can let go of this shield, this sword. I can put those things down, even if it's just for an hour every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks for an hour. I can put all those things aside, and I can just be like, I'm not okay. I'm hurting. I'm not happy. I'm frustrated. I'm whatever I may have been feeling. I could talk about it and I can get it out. And, she could tell me, some things that would help me. She could tell me, hey, well, you need to find a person, two people that you trust enough with your emotions, trust enough to not abuse what you're telling them or to use it against you later, and let them know how you're feeling. And it took some time, but I finally started to find some people who I felt comfortable enough talking about everything that I was going through, and it has helped to be able to release. So again, I'm not saying like I have no friendships that are two-way streets, but we had to work on it. You know what I'm saying? We've had to work on it. And now I'm in a space now where I'm really dedicating this time to working on me and understanding what I need for me, what I need from me, what I need for me. You know what I'm saying? And on the other side of that, I'll be able to tell, my friends and family what I need from them going forward, because I'll understand, I have a better understanding of things. But it's going to take me locking in and really getting to that space. And man, like I said, for the longest time, it just it felt so selfish to pick myself. It felt selfish to, do the things that I need. But now, again, I'm in a space where I want to do it. And also I'm in a space where there's somebody looking up to me. There's somebody looking me in my face on every single day. And, you know, I can see that what I do is going to affect not only how they see the world, but how they see themselves and how they operate in the world. And so, I just want to also say this: shout out to all the parents, shout out to all the guardians, man, man, it gives you a new perspective on things like that, on being a mentor, on being a parent, on being a guardian, on taking on the responsibility and the role of raising someone. It's a lot. So man, I just want to send a shout out to all of y'all, no matter if y'all doing it by yourselves or if y'all doing it with your partners. shout out to y'all, because man, that is a lot of pressure. That is a lot to really think about. That's a lot of responsibility to have on your shoulders. And it forces you to grow, because it forces you to look at things outside of yourself. It forces you to look at yourself from so many different perspectives, from different angles that you probably wouldn't think about looking at yourself at, because you got to understand that you have somebody watching your every move, every word, and man, for me, like I said, it's just forced me to it's forced me to want to grow again for myself, but also for him, and wanting to be in a better place so that he can see what it's like to be angry, but still handle your emotions, to be frustrated, to be annoyed. To understand that, life isn't always going to go your way, but even when it's not going your way, you can still talk to people calmly, or if you can't, give yourself some time, step away before you say something, hurtful, mean, something you can't take back. Give yourself that break, that separation, to get your thoughts together, to get your feelings back in check. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. Life isn't always going to go your way. Just so many things that are being hurled at me, at him, and just it's just life. Life is coming at us, and it's like just trying to make sure that I'm helping him to navigate it to the best of his ability, but also understanding that in order for me to help him, because again, it's not just when things are going bad and I'm having the conversations with him. He's watching every single thing that I do. So it's also just making sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing, even when I don't think that he's around, when I don't think that he's watching, when, when I think that, I can still do things the way I used to do them, understanding that the way I used to do them isn't good enough. It isn't good enough for him, but it also, more importantly, isn't good enough for me. I want to do better. I want to be better. So I have to start changing um, a lot of things. And so again, that's just why it's been so important to me. That's why I've been so intentional trying to do this work, this inner work that I've been running from, and it's been hard because, as I've talked about, I'm not working right now, so I have no insurance. So I haven't been able to go to therapy. So, I've had my moments where, it just felt like, I've been spiraling, because it's a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to go through. And again, like I say, on top of all of that, you have this new person coming into your world, and now it's turning your world upside down. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but I'm finally starting to get a sense of this new normal, get a feel for this new normal. So, emotions and things are starting to finally normalize and stabilize. And again, it's just all about growth and about how you handle things. And I know that I don't always handle change the best. Especially when that change affects me on, like a personal level. I don't always handle those things the best, but just learning how to do a better job of handling it. Again, talking about, regulating emotions, learning how to regulate my emotions and not take it out on everybody around me when they may have absolutely nothing to do with it. It just may be how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And your natural instinct is just to lash out. But I have to be better, because I know that that's not the right way to go about things. And I don't want to be someone who's preaching something that he's not practicing. And even though, yes, I want him to be better than me. And yes, I want him to do what I'm telling him to do, but I also want to walk the walk. I don't want to just talk these things. I want to be able to walk these things. I want him to be able to see me walking these things. I want him to be able to see that Uncle DJ used to handle things a certain way. Now, when I see Uncle DJ, he's handling them a different way. He's talking different. He's walking different. He's just a different presence about himself, the way he goes about handling things, the way he handles himself around people. I just want him to also see the change that I'm trying to make, but I want it to be real change. I don't want it to be something performative. I really want to walk this walk for myself and for him and just for anybody, anybody who sees me, who knows me, knows what I've been through, know what I'm going through, know where I've been. And just when they see me and they see the difference, they see that I'm carrying myself different. They see that I'm holding myself differently, and to a different standard. So I want to hold the people around me to a different standard, and I want them to hold me to a different standard. So it's all about accountability, and hopefully, you know, I'm raising other people's expectations of themselves and standards for themselves by the way that how I'm choosing to move through the world. But it starts with me being intentional about becoming a better version of myself. And I know that that starts with me doing way more than the surface level inner work that I have been doing. I have to go way deeper, and also acknowledging where I've fallen short and where I haven't been, just the best version of myself. I haven't done what I've needed to do, and being honest with myself about those things, being honest about where I have, like I say, where I've fallen short, where I haven't handled business the way I needed to, where I have, just again, just falling short of expectation. There's no way to keep like trying to rephrase it, but yeah, just where I've fallen short, being honest about those things and just working hard to make sure that that doesn't stay, that doesn't become the norm, or well, it has been the norm. So trying to make sure that it doesn't stay the norm, because that has been the norm, because it's been, again, so easy for me to fall into these comfort cages, whatever you want to call it. It's been so easy to get complacent, and I'm trying not to do that, because I understand who I can become, or who I've been, or who I am when I'm in those places. But I want to rise, and I'm not going to lie again, because I'm not sitting here saying that like I want to do it all for him, but he has been a motivation for me. I want to do it for myself, but I would be lying to you if I said that he wasn't a part of the inspiration. He wasn't a part of the motivation for me to want to do more, for me to want to become more for myself and for him, because I see a lot of myself in him. I see a lot of my ways. I see a lot of the things that I was able to do and get away with, because there weren't enough eyes on me. So I don't want him to slip through the cracks just because he has the ability to slip through the cracks. I want to do my best to fill in those holes and fill in those cracks as much as possible, so that way he doesn't turn out the way that I turned out, or turn out the way, that some of the other adults in his lives have been. So again, in order to do better, in order to be better, we got to do better. I have to do better. I have to become more. I have to work harder. I have to be more patient, be more understanding. And that's another thing that's been tested, is like my patience. And I feel like I'm getting better. I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't agree. Who knows? But I'm trying to get to that space of just being more patient and being more understanding, because it's not like he's come from the best of, places, and just trying to keep that in mind, because I don't know what all's going through his mind and what all he's dealing with. But I'm just trying to show him that, just because life is hard, and yes, life is hard, and yes, I know, based off of the little bit of stuff that I know about what he's been through, life has been hard for him. But you also have to still understand that life still has consequences and repercussions for all of your actions. And that's all I want him thinking about when he does things. And I get it, he's still a kid. He's going to be a kid. I don't want to stop him from being a kid. I just want him to understand. I would much rather him learn about consequences and repercussions from us, as opposed to him having to learn about it in life, because life's consequences may be a lot less forgiving than us. And so again, like, just trying to talk to him, but I also just want to try to talk life into him. But in order for me to talk life into him, I have to realize that I have to talk life into myself. I have to be positive with myself. I have to show myself love. I have to show up for myself, because he's a very perceptive person. So if it isn't genuine, he can feel it. And I wanted to feel genuine when I'm talking life and I'm talking love into him. And in order for me to make it genuine, I have to realize that I have to talk life and I have to talk love into myself. And it's something that I have not done. It's something that I haven't had much experience with. But again, that's a part of the reason why I'm trying to take this time to figure out how to talk love into myself and how to talk life into myself. And I know for some people that sounds crazy, but not all of us are used to that. Not all of us are used to getting that. Not all of us know what that sounds like, what that feels like. And again, I just have to, keep repeating certain things to myself, that you are worth it, you are worthy, you are loved, you deserve these things, you've earned these things, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep reminding myself, because it's so easy to fall into those pits of depression, and to forget that you are worthy, for you forget that you do deserve the good things that you may have, whatever they may be. You deserve those things, and you deserve the things that you want in life. They won't come to you. You have to go get them. You have to go earn them. But once you do earn them, once you do have them, you do deserve them. You don't have to let it go. You don't have to keep, you know, trying to convince yourself that you deserve it, because you keep telling yourself that you're unworthy. You are worthy. You do deserve the finer things in life. And when you work your butt off to get those things, they're yours. You deserve them. You don't have to keep reminding yourself that you deserve them. You know what I'm saying? Or you have to keep fighting with yourself. We have to change that thing, or I have to change that thing in my head that makes me want to say, hey, I don't deserve this. And when those good things come, now I'm trying to figure out reasons why I don't have it, or reasons why it's going to go away, or reasons why this isn't going to last. And I end up self sabotaging, my relationships, my friendships, and all of these things. And so, I'm trying to get a hold of that, because I don't want him to, number one, learn that from me. And I also don't want to sabotage this, our bond, and, what I'm trying to help him, the man that I want to help him grow into, So I'm just trying to be be a better version of myself for me, and ultimately for him, to show him as a guide, to show him as a stepping stone that, hey, no, we're not perfect. Yes, we have flaws, but that doesn't mean we can't get better. That doesn't mean we can't change. That doesn't mean we can't grow, because we can do all of those things. Yes, it's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take the right people being around you, but you can do it. And and I just want to show him that. And I also want to show myself that, because it's so easy for me to say it. It's another thing when, like I say, it's genuine and you believe it with your whole heart. And so that's where I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to that place where I believe it with my whole heart, even spiritually. That's where I'm trying to get to, because it's so easy to say, God got me. It's so easy to say, God has a plan for me. It's so easy to say, it's going to be all right. It's something totally different it's a whole nother level when you believe it with your whole heart. And in this season, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to unlock that, where I believe these things with my whole heart. Like, there is no convincing me otherwise. There is no room or no space for doubt, because I believe it that much. And so that's where I'm trying to get to. That's what this time, that's what this season is about. It's about getting to that place to where I believe it wholeheartedly, that there is no room for doubt. There is no room for what ifs. There is no room for maybe, so that way when I come across to not just to other people, but to my nephew, friends, family, and to myself, it's like I believe that because I see it in his eyes, I see it in his voice, I see it in the way he carries himself, that conviction is there. You can't convince him otherwise. You can't convince him of this or of that. There is no room for it because he believes wholeheartedly that he deserves this. He believes wholeheartedly that God got him. He believes wholeheartedly that God has a plan for him and he's walking in his purpose and things like that. So that's what this is about for me, because I want, when people see me and when I talk to people, I want them to know that I believe these things. And I want them to know when I tell them, like, you deserve this or you working your butt off of this. I'm so proud of you. You got this. I want them to know that 100% I believe that with my whole heart. And that's what this time is for. And so, man, if you feel like you're going through something similar, just know that there's nothing wrong with choosing yourself. There's nothing wrong with choosing to heal, choosing to grow, choosing to become better because you know that you need to do better. But just understand that growth isn't always fun. Growth isn't always easy. Growth isn't always comfortable. Growth is going to hurt. Not just you, it's going to hurt some people around you because you're going to have to tell some truth that you've been holding back. You're going to uncover a lot of things about yourself. You're going to uncover a lot of things about the people around you. But just understand that all this work that you're putting in is worth it. That better version of yourself is worth all of this stuff that you're going to go through. Just understand it's not going to all be fun and games. It's not going to always be peaceful. Sometimes it's going to be rocky. It's going to, like I said, be hurtful, painful, sad. Sometimes you're going to feel alone because your mind is taking you, your perspective is changing. So things that you agree with, you may no longer agree with, and so sometimes you're going to be pulling away from friends, not because you don't want to be their friend, but it's just you don't agree with that mindset, or you see the danger or the poison or the toxicity in thinking this way. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of healing, is understanding that certain places you got to elevate from. Certain things are very stagnant mindsets, very toxic mindsets, and you got to elevate past that. Does not make you better than the next person. It just means that you're ready to move past that. And so some parts of this healing journey are going to be lonely because you have to let some things go, but that's a part of the process. And don't be afraid of that, because that's what's necessary for you to get to the places you want to be, for you to get the type of growth that you want to have. You have to let go of some things. You have to cut some things off, and you got to make room for better things, better mindsets, like-minded people, the places where you're trying to go, the mindsets you're trying to have. You got to make room for the people who have those mindsets. So that way that stuff can rub out, their work ethic, their energy, all of these things can rub off on you. So it's a part of that journey. It's a part of that process. But again, final word I want to say is choosing you is not wrong. Choosing you is not a bad thing. Choosing you is not selfish. Choosing you is 100% necessary at certain times in your healing journey, in your growth journey, and just in your journey period, where you have to figure you out. You have to figure out what you want, where you are, where you're trying to go, what you want to do, and what you need to do to get to those spaces. So it's a part of the journey. It's necessary. So stop thinking that it's selfish for choosing you, man. That you, at some point, you're going to have to choose you, because if you don't take care of you, how can you possibly take care of other people? But that's it for today's episode. I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on. I appreciate the love. And to everybody watching on YouTube, I want to thank y'all as well. I appreciate the love I've been getting on there. Please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next time we meet, y'all already know, stay blessed.